Hello, everybody. It has been a long time since I have been up here talking to people. I think that my last time up here was Kent's last day, so it's about a year and a half or so. As always, I remember saying when I come up here before, you have absolutely no idea the power of looking out and seeing so many faces of people you love. It is incredible. So, thank you for being here. I offer you a meditation on Pride Sunday. I remember my first gay club experiences back in the day. These places were never in the so-called best parts of town. I suppose they could never get the approval to be downtown where all the cool kids were. Instead, it was the poor neighborhoods. For me and my friends that went to those places, we knew those neighborhoods well. We lived in them. Our friends were there. These buildings never had windows. I suppose it's because they're worried about anonymity, people looking in the windows, not knowing who they'd see. And it was safe, I guess. These places were odd places, rundown spaces, forgotten places. But my gosh, these places were magic. The music, the lights, the crowds of people, all sorts of people. It was amazing. Everyone seemingly on the same page, dancing, singing, full of joy, no matter where you were on that rainbow spectrum. As a small town closeted queer kid myself, these spaces were the best places. To step out of the closet and just be myself, if only for a while. I can sometimes still close my eyes and hear that music. Close your eyes. Can you snap with me? Oh man, Madonna was the queen back in the day for me. All right, thanks, Brad. Whew. Had to go there. Okay. Understand you didn't dance because you were a queer kid. You dance because you're full of joy and you were free. And I tell you, it was a revelation. It was a revolution. And if you can think of those, and if you can't think of those spaces not like church, then maybe you need some education because those places were my most spiritual places. But times change. So many of those places have gone away. Ours in Muskegon, Carousel in Grand Rapids, 76 in Grand Rapids, all those places gone. But we have Pride events now, so I'm glad for that. In fact, they're happening in big and small places around the country this month. This coming Saturday in Muskegon, in fact, Pride, with the first LGBTQ Pride mayor in the history of the openly proud gay mayor in Muskegon. I always want to throw that in there. Here next weekend, right downtown Grand Haven here on the waterfront, the same place they hold praise music and worship music on the next day. Grand Rapids, the 21st and 22nd. Big shout out to go to Grand Rapids if you can. It's an amazing time. A lot of people. It's a full community. To be honest with you, many times I don't really know what pride means anymore because it's become like this thing. On one hand, super cool to be a target market of this big public brouhaha. The other hand, pride events are not quite the same as those old clubs. On one hand, I do kind of like pissing off the folks that hate that there is a pride event in their town and all their pearl clutching and pray the gay away on the next Sunday. Those people always want to be part of the conversation, I suppose. And honestly, when I go to Pride events and there's someone there telling me how to be saved, I view them as part of Pride now. I tease a little bit about all this, but I'm glad that these events exist. I'm glad that they're here, even if Target doesn't sponsor them anymore. That's okay with me. Because maybe they can be that space for that closeted queer person like myself, like I was in those old days in the club. And I hope they are, because those spaces are always better than the darkness of a closet. So I have a friend who teaches at the University of Michigan, kind of get to go blue. He had this class called How to Be Gay, and it caused a big controversy back in the early 2000s on all the news channels, and oh my God, they're teaching our kids how to be gay, look out. Seriously, what the class really was about was a literature class that showed gay representation throughout literature, throughout history, biblical on forward, all the way to Walt Whitman and other folks. If you look back and you see all these things, it was a powerful experience for me to see that representation has always been there. Sometimes with more risk and sometimes with secret languages. It showed that there was always a spectrum of queer folk being queer in their own way. And I think about this in my own life and the people I have known. The lesbian once married to men who came out after divorce. That was my mom, by the way. Some of the drag performers you will see next weekend in town here. Those folks, you often stumble over what pronouns to use when talking about them. The getting old guy that would be happy with a book and a chair at a beach who's so boring and people say he's the least gay person that they know. I'd rather be watching a hockey game maybe, I don't know. Then there's the vocal activist, the young lady in college learning not only the school subject that they need to learn, but also the subject, the most important one of who am I? It has always been and always will be. In these times, I wanted to curse here, but I will not. Some folks are trying to eliminate part of the pride family with public discourse from public discourse and representation. Honestly, my response has become extra queer. I don't know what that means, but it's in my head all the time. I need to be extra queer. I curse a bit more, but mostly I worry about my friends, because if they come for one, they come for all. They will come for your neighbors, your friends, the person behind the counter, the factory worker, the activist, the young person looking at books in the library or the bookstore. They will come for them. Those that are on their own journeys, their own hero's journey, know that they are on a hero's journey. Let's today and always honor them and that journey. And if you feel like we should dance a little bit more, do so. Get out there and dance. Make it an homage to all those spaces that help so many of us say, this is me. Peace out, family.